Thank you so much. My name is Kaylin Green. I'm going to be here talking about the research that I conducted that supported me in creating my group counseling workbook OER. I want to give a little background onto why I was doing this project. So before I got into academics, I'm now the professor of addiction studies at SUNY Empire. I was a substance use counselor for many years, working with a recently incarcerated population. Specifically, when I was working in inpatient, I found a stressor of my job was having to identify, create, find a group activity for our group counseling sessions. We ran about 7 different groups a day, and I would run 1 to 2 groups a day. My other colleagues would run different ones. And usually we had a pretty good schedule of who ran what group, what day, so I could plan out in a sense. But there were also days where in the clinical world, emergencies came up. Clients had crises, people called in sick, and I would be walking on my way to my lunch break, and my supervisor would go, "Hey, I need you to run a group." And I go, "Cool, when?" And they go, "Now." And I'd be like, "Okay." I have no idea what I'm gonna do, right? So when I was working as a counselor and inpatient, I created a binder. We had a 28-day inpatient stay. So for 4 weeks of all the 7 different types of groups we ran, I created a binder of a different group for every day for every topic. That way, when someone was given a last minute group to run where they didn't have the time to create a group, or as happened to me a lot, I had an idea for group, I go into group, I start it, and the members would go, "We just did this yesterday." And I would say, there's no way for me to know that. Now I'm in a group with nothing to do. So I created this binder, and it wasn't a mandatory binder for people to have to follow, but created a resource that you could go to and jump to and get an activity at the tip of your fingers. And we found that when I was working inpatient, it really helped kind of raise some of the stress of when we had to run a last minute group. So I created that almost 10 years ago, and that facility is still using it. When I got into the academic world, I've had this idea of creating that, but on a much larger scale. And I've had this idea for a few years. And I was telling my wonderful department chair about it, about how I want to write this and I want to get group activities from people from all over the country and then give it to everyone. And I want to grow it. So I'll give it to a bunch of counselors in every state and they can send me more group activities and I can just keep growing this repository of group counseling activities and give it away for free for anyone who wants it. And my department chair goes, "Well, maybe we should do some research, though, to prove that this is worth your time doing. What if nobody wants it?" And I go, what a great idea. Do some research to support why I'm going to be putting the next year or two of my life into writing this. So with that idea, I created some original qualitative research. I conducted this research. So I'm going to go over some of the research with you to show you, to prove why I ended up writing this, and then I'll get into the actual writing of it as well towards the end. Some of the research questions that I asked involved, so I asked specifically substance use counselors who were active in the fields. Do last minute tasks ever come up? What would help you perform your job duties better and easier? And then how would a resource book of counseling activities help you perform your job duties? The answers here really gave me the support of, hey, a resource where I could jump to would be helpful. It would cut down on time. It would also make sure that all my group sessions, even if they were last minute assigned to me, were evidence-based, strong group activities, not something that I'm just coming up at the top of my head and wasting my client's time. We never want to waste clinical time, right? Clinical time is being paid for by insurance. Our clients deserve to have time, that activities that mean something for them in the recovery process. So that's a lot of the information that I got from the participants, was this would help not only time wise, but also help make sure that clients got well-rounded, strong group activities. My methods section, the population was counselors who were active in the substance use fields. My sampling, I called facilities to see if they were interested in participating. I went door to door and dropped off flyers. There were some times where I went to a facility, I drove 2 hours away, and I told them what I was doing, and they were like, "Hey, we have 3 people here right now. You want to do interviews right now?" Yeah, it's fantastic. So a quick door-to-door flyer drop-off turned into sitting there for an hour and a half conducting 3 participant interviews, which is wonderful. But it really was foot on the ground collecting these qualitative interviews in person. I did most interviews in person. I did some over the phone. As I asked if the participants were comfortable with me recording, all of them said that they were comfortable being recorded. If they were not comfortable, I would not have recorded them, obviously. I was writing notes on everything, so I have a lot of documentation showing and supporting the research and the outcomes. My participant demographic, I had 15 substance use counselors as participants altogether. I had 10 females, 5 males. Age range from the 20s to over 61 years of age. Um, Participants had 9 months to over 20 years experience in the substance use field. I really liked that I had a wide range of experience because it showed me that counselors, not only who were fairly new to the field and counselors who have been doing this for 20 plus years, all thought this resource would be helpful to them in some way. We had associate's degrees, bachelor's, as well as master's degrees level counselors. And facilities that I went to included inpatient, outpatient, community, residential, as well as detox settings. And again, what this showed me is that counselors who worked in every level of care thought this would be helpful. So it really gave me really good research support to prove why it was worth me putting my time into this writing this free OER resource. Some of the answers that I got for do last minute tasks ever come up? 13 of them said automatically yes, point blank yes. The word overwhelmed was used a lot in kind of balance that workload. Time management and patience were essential. And they have to almost anticipate a certain amount of emergencies. And that's completely opposite of a child, right? We can't anticipate emergencies. That's what an emergency is. But part of this job is you have to expect at minimum 2 emergencies a day. That's just how clinical counselors work in that field. What would help you perform your job duties better and easier? One of the answers was lessening clients' loads, which, right, we don't have control over. Trainings, which also leads to this resource book, which it was kind of part of my brain. Information on resources and information on practices, and having a binder of resources. So 3 of these 4 answers that the most answers that I got were directly related to my idea of creating this OER, which was wonderful to hear. And then when I asked the point blank question, how would a resource book of counseling activities help you perform your job duties? All 15 of them said yes. They all expanded on activities help and they move the time along. If anyone here has ever done clinical work before, you know, clients can sit there and stare at you for an hour and a half. They are very good at that. So it's really up to us to keep that conversation going. So activities help move that time along. It would be great, especially for new counselors with some of the answers. Some of the facilities said we've made our own, but it only has to do with what, you know, us 5 counselors here share. Having a resource with other people's perspectives and ideas would be wonderful to expand our knowledge base. They said we could put their attention on other things, knowing they have this resource to just grab and go, which again makes their job a little bit easier. So everyone gave me positive feedback on doing this book and how that would be helpful. So I created what's called the group counseling workbook. I worked with my amazing library staff to help me create it, edit it, publish it, and now it's being held in the SUNY OER online library publishing center. But I wrote it in, so I'm updating it frequently. I'm updating it whenever a group activity is sent to me by anyone, from any counselor in any state. I add it to this workbook and I include their name in the acknowledgement section. And the ultimate goal of this workbook is to grow it. I started it. I have 12 topics, the list here on the PowerPoint, emotional regulation, return to use prevention, setting boundaries. So I have 12 different topics. And then I myself created or found evidence-based group activities, 5 for each topic. So already the book has 60 group activities built in that are all evidence-based supported, that are line by line, step by step, to help you fill up that hour and a half time. The ultimate goal is to grow this. So I wanted to publish it as an OER so that I always have access to remix it, to change it, to update it. Another idea is, though, is so if a facility wants to download this and they create it themselves, so they download it, they save it, because it's published as an OER, they can update it. They can put their own activities in, even if they're not willing to share them with me for, the greater good. They want to keep it for themselves. That's fine too. You can add it, but at least you have a place to put them all. So everyone in that facility can open this resource up and have all these books whenever they want them. So where I am in the process, I have published it and I'm now working on disseminating it. So I got a part of the Joyce McKnight Scholarship Grant, which is wonderful because it gave me a little bit of funding to help encourage me through the writing process. Not only did getting a piece of the SUNY Empire grant show me that my university saw the importance of this project. They said, hey, we see what you're doing. We like it. We want to support it. And that meant a lot to me. That really gave me that push, that oomph to work on this after hours on the weekends to get it accomplished. I had the wonderful SUNY Empire State Library edit it for me. I had two wonderful members who worked hard with me to edit it. I am not an attention to detail person. I know that about myself. I need someone to revise my work on these big projects. And the library was so helpful in offering that. I'm a huge supporter of saying, reach out to your library and ask for help. They will help you, or they will find someone who can help you. It is published and held in the SUNY OER repository. So anyone can download it and use it and keep it for free. Okay. And I like to present on this because one of my biggest things is, how do I disseminate? If you don't have a publisher who's being paid for the book, how do you get it out there in the right hands? Okay. So I do as many conferences as I can on this topic to tell people that this book exists, that you can take it and use it for free. Maybe not for yourself, but maybe for another class. Maybe you know of a colleague who teaches clinical group counseling or just counseling classes in general. Tell them about this book. They can download it and give it to all their students for free as a supplement in their clinical work coursework. So how I'm disseminating right now is I have an amazing work study student, and I've given him the very daunting task of cold calling substance use facilities all over the country. I'm asking him to do 5 per state, getting their email addresses and sending them this workbook for free, which is, it's a lot of work. This is work that I would simply not have time to do during the academic year. My work study student is amazing, and he's putting the man hours in. He's getting this book out to as many people as possible. And then I'm doing as many conferences as I can to talk about and share that information. But the dissemination part, it's a challenging piece at the end, because you can have the most amazing resource or textbook written, but if no one knows about it, what good is it, right? So getting in those right hands. So please share your favorite group counseling activities to me so I can add them in so we can grow this. And while you may not be doing clinical work or teaching counseling, you may know someone who does, or in the psychology field. Please feel free to share my information, share this resource with them, give it to them so that they can use it. Share your email with me so I may send you a free link. It is public. I will send you the free link automatically right now. I can email you the actual PDF, or I'll send you the free link where it's being stored online. And then if you think of anyone specifically that you're like, oh, I work with this person, this could be helpful for these courses, my dean would love this because they also oversee the clinical or counseling department, please send me their information. Or send them my information. I would be happy to send this to anyone and everyone who would benefit from using this. So I want to put in the chat the direct link to this book so you can download it as you need, as you want, share it, send it to anyone and everyone. I appreciate any time you spend in sending this around, because it really gets the information out there. So I put in the chat that direct link to the group counseling workbook there. So I want to open this up now to any questions. Any questions you have about, I think I put it in the wrong chat. Any questions you have about my writing process, about how I got this work done, what I had to do, either the research or the publication side of it. I would love to be a resource to encourage or support anyone in, even if you're in the very, very early stages of thinking about writing a free OER resource. I would love to support and offer any guidance in that. And I'm going to also put my email address in here because I've actually written 2 different OERs, very, very different style OERs. And I have found them to be, I was very scared to do them, I'll be honest with you, but they're wonderful projects and they were wonderful to have accomplished. So I would love to offer any support if I can for anyone else. My email is also in that group chat. So please feel free to ask me any questions in any way, shape, or form. But do I have any thoughts or any questions here? I would love to offer that.
You had put it into the Q&A, so I just put it into the chat for everyone.
Oh, thank you so much, Michaela.
No problem. So if you do have any questions, please go ahead and put them into the chat.
Just you all being here and spending, your morning here on this for this beautiful conference. I've participated in this conference for 2 years now, and we get so much information to share. So from Ellen, I'm a librarian at a 2-year college in Wisconsin, working with our human service instructors in our addiction course. You are the person who I wrote this book for, Ellen. Oh my goodness. um, and yes, so the book can be, it is an OER. So I will send you the book. Please send me send me an email and I will send you it in every possible format that I have, so you can do whatever you want with it. Absolutely, absolutely. And please, tell these instructors that they have group activities that they want to give to me, and I can put in the formal book. We can grow it. If not, they can just grow it themselves. Either way is totally fine. Thank you. Thank you, Rebecca. It was a lot of work to do this. It was a lot of, I call harvesting activities from all the colleagues that I've worked with in the past, and they are all marked in my acknowledgement section. So I hope that acknowledgement section grows exponentially as I get to talk about this more and people send me more resources. In my eyes, my grandiose idea here, this project is going to turn into, like a 500-page group activity, just really a warehouse where we have good, solid group activities that anyone can go to completely for free and make their jobs a little bit easier. For anyone here who works in the substance use or clinical field in general, our jobs are difficult, okay? And there's not a lot of time, and a lot of it is expected from them. So if we can do something to make their jobs a little bit easier every day, that really is the goal. Thank you so much, Sarita, if I'm saying that right. I'm sorry if I'm not. Please take this, give it to anyone and everyone. That is the ultimate goal here. Yeah. They're all evidence-based groups. They go step by step. They're really designed to fill up that hour and a half, hour, 20-minute time slot for your group activities. Yeah.
Thank you. And yes, it is Sarita. You said it right.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
All right, looks like we're out of time. We do have a break from, let's see, where are we? From 10:35 to 10:45. And then we do have one more session coming up in this room, from 10:45 to 11:30. So, I'm gonna go stop the recording.